Checking. 1 2 1 2. Wonder if
should turn the chat on.
Yeah. Wonder if you get chats from like all the different platforms.
It said I'm supposed to, and my phone's about to die.
Oh, yay. Okay, everybody, we are trying something new. We're trying to stream to multiple platforms. We are working on transitioning to a bunch of decentralized platforms and networks, and really getting into the blockchain technologies, getting into the crypto market a little bit, crypto space. And this video is really to talk to the audience, all you lovely viewers out there, and let you know that we are streaming live on DLive right now. So if you haven't checked out DLive, it's pretty cool. I know PewDiePie actually is one of the big ones promoting DLive. If you've heard that.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, and it's because DLive is different than YouTube on like their business model. YouTube makes a ton of money. You know, Google, they make a ton of money off the ads and off the social engagements and the sharing, like all that stuff, right? They the super chats, all those ways on YouTube for the big company, the big tech giant, to make money. And in DLive, like in many decentralized platforms, the viewer, the user, can earn tokens, right? They can earn some form of value for your engagements, for your comments, for your shares, for your likes, all that stuff. I'm not exactly sure which and like how much and all that stuff. We're new to the platform. We're trying to figure it out. But from what I understand, it rewards the viewers, the engagement of the audience, and the content creator for their content and the interaction with the community. So it's really like trying to pool your energy, your collective energy and focus. So what does that mean for the Blind Justice channel? We're kind of heading in a different direction than we have been with the Blind Justice channel for a few reasons. One, I think we have a substantial body of work in the direct action, like activism arena. So we'll probably throttle that back to a trickle. So don't expect to see the Blind Justice team out on the streets anytime soon. Right now, I'm still on house arrest. So if I go out to the street, they can arrest me, right? Just like 45 feet that way.
Yeah.
But we are throttling the on-the-ground presence for the Blind Justice activism. Doesn't mean that we won't engage in direct actions and support other actions of activists and causes that we want to go cover from the journalistic side, or even joining in the protest or following up with different things. The reason for that, I think the body of evidence, the body of work that we've established on the channel is enough for people to go back and view if they want to see the progress. And I'm going to ask Mrs. Justice to kind of clean up the channel a little bit and get more playlists and things like that, so that you guys can go back and find, what segments, what kind of things are linked together as far as activism goes, and our efforts to raise awareness of the lack of transparency and accountability in local, regional, state, and federal government systems and offices and entities. So that's kind of been the focus for the Blind Justice channel, is to show that these systems don't even follow their own rules. They don't follow their own laws, and to try to hold them accountable, to encourage them to, and to follow their own rules and laws, right? Try to be above board, just the bare minimum of doing what they say they're supposed to do, right? Not even really pushing them to change what they say they're supposed to do, right? It's just simply holding them to the standard that they set, all right, or that their partner governmental entity or higher governmental entity set, okay? So that's been the focus of the channel thus far, to expose that's the state of affairs, that the system is off the rails. And if we try to engage with the system in the way that they have it and go through their protocols, right, of redressing grievances, that you're likely to get nowhere fast. And in some cases, like the court system and the legal system, you can be beat up pretty bad, abused pretty bad, and cost you thousands upon thousands of dollars just to try to prove your innocence when you're supposedly not supposed to. They're supposed to prove your guilt, right? But that is not how the system is set up. The setup is rigged against you, that you are guilty until proven innocent, right? Otherwise, why would you force somebody at gunpoint to go to court when there's no body of evidence to prove any kind of guilt, right? They rubber stamp probable cause affidavits and things like that, issue warrants like without having evidence, without having proof, just because it's part of a money-making scheme to keep the people under control. So we're going to continue to expose that stuff, but more from a distance, right? We're going to be sharing other stories, other channels, other content creators, kind of doing some collaborative work from behind the scenes, which means it's going to be a lot for Mrs. Justice, a lot of that, but I can still engage in some ways. Some of these new technologies we're engaging with on the decentralized platforms, I'm working with and communicating with some of the developers and the teams to try to help it be more blind person friendly, visually impaired friendly, so that it works with your screen readers and all that. So I've already been contacting several of them to help them with developing some more accessibility options and integration. So yeah, we're going to be on DLive like we are now. What other platforms are we on?
We are on lots of different platforms right now. I was working on that today, getting them all. I have a bunch of links in the chat right now. So we have DLive, we have Peak D, so Peaked, so Peak D, Peaked. Okay. We have a Odyssey. Odyssey is a video. It's kind of like DLive and YouTube. Okay. So that's one you can find us on, Odyssey. A Twitter account, Instagram account, a Twitch account. That's new. It should be streaming right now.
Okay.
I think that's
library or library.
It's without the vowels, well, except the Y. But library or Libri is integrated with Odyssey. So Odyssey is like the front side if you just want to come and view things and like you would on YouTube. If you want to do more content creation and like start earning and working with the blockchain, you need the library thing.
Yeah. So we're still going to be doing the activism more from a hands-off side, kind of, I don't know, behind the scenes, woman in the chair kind of stuff, sharing other people's stories and content. So if you want something to be mirrored or shared, like go ahead and send that to us. We'll be happy to host that on these different platforms for you. We also have the new series that our second video posted today of the Blind Guide series. We interviewed Pete Gustin from the Blind Surfer channel. So if you haven't seen that video yet, check it out. It's about an hour-long interview. Great guy. He does voiceover work, so you've probably heard his voice before on trailers and commercials and things like that.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how often I've heard this guy's voice. Like it's the guy who's like in theaters next Friday. Like
yeah.
But way better than that.
Yeah. So if you haven't listened to that interview, it was really cool hearing his take. And it's really neat because so far our two guests, we had Emily from Fashionista, and she has a more usable vision than both me and Pete, but she has she's a guide dog user, and she has a lot of the assistive tech that I mentioned she was familiar with. Some of it she used, some of it she didn't, some of it she's tried and whatnot, or she uses it from time to time. Pete, on the other hand, has kind of done what I did initially when my vision loss was really hitting to the point of being dangerous to drive, and kind of been reluctant to acknowledge that, and then to try to figure out the different tools and devices and schoolings and trainings and stuff out there. So when I was talking with Pete, he's like, yeah, he's like, I've been trying to stay away from that, but he was really cool because he was like, I'm open to it now. Like now it's like, I've kind of accepted it. And so I sent him a huge list of different devices and tools that I personally tried out, most of which have been issued by the VA, blind rehab or low vision clinic. So if you want that list, it's a list probably of 30 or so items, and schools or podcasts or different things that I've tried. Some of them I think some of them I haven't tried, but it's on my to-do list or interested in list. So if you want that, email us insightissfree@gmail.com. I'm happy to share that with you. Or if you want to pass it on to somebody else that is going through vision loss or somebody that is living with vision loss, then it may be a cool resource guide for them. It's definitely not exhaustive. It's definitely not the end-all be-all list. It's just my exposure to it thus far. And the Blind Life YouTube channel is a really good resource. He goes through and reviews all kinds of different products, devices, and tools and trainings and different updates on devices, and he's all over that. So I reached out to him. I'm really hoping to get an interview with the Blind Life channel. That'd be really cool because that's I think the majority of the content on his channel is all about that, assistive devices and how to use the tools and tech that we have available to us today to overcome obstacles in daily life. So you can check out that YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. So that is our blind guides series that we're going to continue to do. We're going to try and do one of those interviews a week and hopefully drop those every Friday. That's what we're working on. We'll continue to give you guys updates with the court stuff and all that nonsense with me personally. Again, this channel has never started to be, the intention of this channel has never been to be focused on one individual. It's never been focused on me. That's the main reason why I have been reluctant to give out personal details, personal information and stuff like that. And as far as like the name, like that's a philosophical reason. Like names to me are, I understand why people use them for ease of communication and whatnot, but I have no partiality to any name. So if you want to call me whatever you want, that's fine, But other directions we're going, if you check out our friend Aaron, who's been helpful up here with some action, he and others run a YouTube channel called Breathe Free Academy. Thank you. Yeah. Breathe Free Academy. And a lot of the focus of his channel and his work is to help people put their energy and focus in ways to live free. So whereas the focus of this channel has been up until this point really to give people insight, give people a red pill, if you will, let them see for themselves through our adventures that the system is severely broken and most likely not correctable, right? It's beyond repair, in my opinion. So since we've done this, established that, then the next step is, okay, now what? Do we continue to try to fight and try to change and try to get this thing to correct itself? Or do we move in a different direction and put our energies into something that we really are more passionate about? Like really it's more life-giving and more freeing to give your energy and time into finding out ways to make either alternate revenue streams because of the crazy economic climate we're in, right? To get passive income, helping people figure that out through decentralized means with cryptocurrencies. If you don't know anything about that market, we're going to do specific videos on that. There's plenty of videos out there, so we're going to try to give you guys some information on that. And the cryptocurrency landscape is kind of just taken off. Like 2020 has been a crazy year for all this new technology and ease of use at the user end for people to get involved in those ways. And it's different ways to save money, to earn investment money, and you don't have to have large amounts of money to do it. Like you can do it with pennies or dollars. It's really cool, the different things that are out there today. So we're going to help you figure that out, how to understand and work in the blockchain arena and the crypto space. We're going to work on hosting and sharing content from other content creators about how to grow your own food, right? How to collect water or make sure you have fresh drinking water, right? If it's not rainwater collection, then other ways to get clean drinking water, or water use in general, just for the clean water, the gray water, the black water, and then how the different systems that you can set up to have a self-sustaining living space. Then food, we've talked about water, energy, right? Different ideas out there, and content creators that are working to help people become energy independent, right? Solar panels, wind farms, all kinds of other wonderful ideas out on the World Wide Web. A lot of places that are in more decentralized areas of the web, so you may not have been privy to it or have had much exposure to it because of the way the algorithms work to keep you focused on nonsense, on the drama, on the stuff that you're pissed off about but you can't really fix, right? So we're going to try to say, hey, let's change our focus from people being all pissed off about the stuff that's really hurting everybody, and recognize, all right, let's not focus on that. I don't think we can change it. If we just put our energy in stuff that we can do to make ourselves more free, more independent, more self-sustainable, then we can help our community neighbors, become more free, more independent, and self-sustaining. And by default, we, essentially starve the beast, right? Stop engaging and giving the controllers so much energy, so much of our time and energy and effort. So anything else you want to add on that?
Not right now.
No? Okay, more to come. Like, we're super excited about the different direction of the channel. It's not the end of the activism. It's just kind of a different approach. One that ideally has less personal cost to the family and less risk to the family. So I think we've established enough work and evidence to show that the system is incredibly corrupt and broken. So we're moving on, and we hope to have you along for the ride. Check us out on all these other different platforms. Like you said, we're on DLive. We're on Peak D, or Peaked. I think you just spell it Peak and then the letter D.
Yeah.
We're on Twitch. We're on, where are we? The other ones you said. We're on Odyssey, Library. So she's going to post, if it's not in the description, she's going to post some stuff for you guys. There's other things in the description that's new, I think, possibly. I don't know if she has it there. If not, we'll add it. The different ways to start engaging yourself, to start earning different crypto, or to get into understanding crypto a little bit, because it's the economy has been hyperinflated, and we think that it's only going to get worse in the future as far as the traditional economy and the government-controlled economy, or the Federal Reserve, the bankster-controlled economy. So the more you can opt out of these systems of control, right? These opt out of doing business with the tyrants, and ways to opt out of giving them your attention, then go for it. We're on. Oh, we recommend the Brave browser. Again, we're not sponsored by any of these things. These are just stuff that we've been researching for a while, and we're like, okay, and it's time for us to do this big transition and help other people try to come along for the ride. So the Brave browser is really cool. You can get it on your phone, you can get it on your computer. It's really good for your security, for your privacy, and it's another way for you to earn cryptocurrency, earn money for using your phone, using your computer on the web, right? They issue something called BAT, or Basic Attention Token. So the ads that you get, you can choose, how many ads that you get popping up on your browser, and it's going to be more focused to you. And you don't have to give them any time or anything like that. You kind of, I think you click on the ad and then you can go back to whatever you're doing. But the Brave browser is really cool. It's good for security. We use DuckDuckGo with the Brave browser as our search engine, and DuckDuckGo does not collect your info like Google and all the other big search engines. So that's another layer of security, working in tandem with the Brave browser. So basically, you can do the stuff, the time and energy that you're putting into, using your phone, using your computer, doing the stuff that you normally do. And there's this term social currency, right? So your social engagement on all these different websites, on streaming platforms, on video platforms, on Twitter, like what's the other one? Yup is another one where yup.io, where you can essentially upvote and downvote basically anything, like pretty much any website, and your normal likes and dislikes and hearts and comments and laughy faces that you put on your normal social media things. If you're doing it through the Yup extension on your browser, you earn Yup tokens, essentially another form of cryptocurrency. So you're getting paid for your time, your energy. Like, right? What is work? Like, what has it been traditionally? So you go out in the field, you work with your labor with your body all day, right, to try to grow some food, and then that is your product of your labor. And if you want to trade it for some currency, some other kind of value holder, then you can do trades and go to a bank and whatever. And that's kind of been this evolution of currency and value holding. Well, a lot of people's energy now is, and their time and energy is in computers, or in your phone, and you can get paid for that stuff yourself as a user, as at the front end. You just have to figure out the different ways of doing that. Some of those things we just mentioned are ways that we're trying to figure out. And as we are learning that, we're going to try to make videos to help you guys understand what we're using, if we find it useful or not, if it's an extra pain in the butt, or if it's, just watch the main hurdles, the setup, which a lot of it I think has been so far, is just getting through the setup process of these things. And then they start to actually make sense and earn you some kind of currency for your time and energy that you normally expend surfing the web or engaging on social platforms. So that's social currency. I think it's another way of thinking about it is like all the time and effort. If you've ever been a gamer, or if you know somebody's been a gamer that's really been in like MMO RPGs, like massive multiplayer online role-playing games, and there's you're doing big missions, or you're earning currency in the game currency, and oops, silence that. Shush. So there's always been a market for that in that realm, in the gaming realm, and that's now coming, like transitioning through the blockchain and through cryptocurrencies, figuring out how to actually monetize your efforts in a digital world, in a virtual world, right? Especially if there are to be lockdowns, more lockdowns coming, right? And people are forced indoors, inside, into a virtual world. I think it's a great time for you to start going on this journey with us to find out a way to monetize your virtual effort, right? Your energy that you expend. I think there's a study about how much energy, not calories, but energy. I don't know. It's a weird. I have to find the study because my wording on it is not right. I think how your system is taxed, the energy expenditure of being behind a computer, and the mental energy is draining and exhausting and builds stress. Like when the primary worker went from, mainly being a manual labor kind of job to sitting behind a computer 9 to 5, and that the energy and stress and everything on the labor has increased. So if you have an increased input, if you will, your energy input, then I think that you should probably get some kind of compensation, or there should be something for you to show for it, not just like your game, like, hey, I'm a level 40 in my game, or whatever. I've got all these little things, but you can't do anything with that other than in that gaming world. Well, in the decentralized, blockchain world that we're in now, there are different things out there that can pay you to do the normal things you do, and kind of reward you for that energy. So you want to address any comments or questions?
Yes.
Yeah. What's up?
Eric, the Eric Brandt
The
show.
Eric Brandt, what's up?
The Eric Brandt show is here. And he said he ordered 430 kilowatt hour batteries, 9 320-watt solar panels,
Woo!
2 charge controllers, one for the solar, one for the wind, and a 5 kilowatt inverter system for $15,000. That's exciting.
Yeah, man. That's for the Freedom Land out there.
He said he's going to be totally off grid.
In Colorado. That's great. So
Awesome.
yeah, so there's, this is the way of the future, the way that I see it. These old systems, these old monopolies, these old controllers, these old power players that are on there. I think, and really, like, I'm really an optimist. Like, it may not sound like it, but I really am. Like, I'm really this eternal optimist, because I think all this extra constraint and all these extra power plays and controlling moves, I think are actually signs that they may be, in their death throw, that they're like, oh no, this new wave of the future, this new revolution is upon us. Just like you had the, industrial revolution, right? And that changed the world, like completely changed the world, right? You had the printing press, and then you had the industrial revolution, and then you have the technological revolution, right? With the computers and the internet. And now we're in this next revolution, that's this decentralization, right? The blockchain technology allows the decentralization of everything. And so the ones that had centralized control of all these different systems are freaking out. And so they're doing these Hail Marys, these different things to try to say, no, we can't ever lose control. But I think the tighter they try to grip, the more, people are just going to slip through their fingers, and we're going to have a more free, beautiful world to inhabit. Again, there's going to be this strain period, this labor period, right? There's going to be labor pains. Okay. But there's been birthing, or it's been, gestating for a while, and it's just, I think we're getting close to having some major shifts. So come along for the journey. Stay tuned. Check us out on those other platforms. If you got questions or comments, go ahead and post them. Shoot us an email if you want. Again, that list of assistive tech that I've tried out or am interested in trying out, and I'll shoot it to you. And email is insightisfree@gmail.com. Stay tuned for our blind guide videos that we're going to keep trying to knock out and drop every Friday.
Those are fun.
And yeah, anything else?
Eric said to come over to, I wrote it down, hold on, TrueTube.live.
Okay.
So I'm going to check that out, because I haven't.
Yeah.
And they're going to start True to Believe. I don't know what that means exactly, but
all right,
I'm sure I can Google and find out.
More research for us to do.
DuckDuckGo it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Growing pains and all of that. I think you mentioned earlier, I think that's the hardest part, is the shift to, even shifting from Facebook, which is clearly a toxic dump at the moment. And that's probably a little hard. No, that's not harsh. It's terrible. Facebook is really terrible.
Yeah.
It's really terrible. But I'm still there because I'm still there.
Yeah. Well, it's like, being a conscious consumer, are you paying into stuff like companies that provide services or goods just because of the ease of it? And I think that's probably the majority of us do that. We just do it because of it's easier. It's mostly reliable. Are you funding a monopoly, or are you funding stuff? Do you actually know how transparent is their business model? Like how are you getting your stuff? And are they taking care of their employees? Where do they get their products? Are those companies using, slave labor? Are they using sweatshops? Right? Being a conscientious consumer applies to everything. If you're consuming content, if you're consuming what platforms you're engaging with and consuming your information from. If you're getting it from the quote mainstream media, then you're giving them viewer time, you're giving them your energy, right? And so we're trying to figure out more free ways of doing life, and we're going to share that journey with you guys and put our focus and energy into that. So other channels that do that, like I said, our friend Aaron over at the Breathe Free Academy. You can check them out. And we're going to definitely be sharing more of those content creators in the future. So stay tuned. Last check for comments.
They put the link for TrueTube.
Cool.
Word.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. That's it. You guys, thanks for tuning in, you beautiful people. And peace and love. Deo Presso Liber.